Vero Beach, Florida boasts an exclusive waterfront neighborhood with expensive homes. But it's also known as an excellent place for fishing. And today, one of the homeowners has taken issue with a local man who was wade fishing in front of her house.
Should I call the cops too? Yeah. That's good. Now you're harassing me.
The neighbor is threatening to call the police, as she claims the man is trespassing on her property. So he starts recording.
You don't own the water. You own that. You own that.
What you think? I own from that telephone pole all the way down.
All this water is yours?
Yes.
Impossible.
I'm not gonna hurt.
While the neighbor may not wish to engage in a war of words, she's not backing down.
Exactly. Get mad. Get mad. I'm gonna make you famous.
And if he's going to make her famous, she's going to make him wet.
Look at you. You're bored. You must be a bored woman. But then be rich. Good. But you're miserable. Okay, you're rich, but you're miserable.
And now the neighbor goes from verbal taunts to physical threats.
You know what? If my son was here, he'd be out of here.
That's fine.
Can't wait till he gets here.
That's fine. That's fine. You'll go to jail. He'll go to jail. Now that's a threat, and I have it recorded. Thank you.
I don't have time.
Yeah. Go inside. Get something to eat. Get something to eat.
Fun in jail.
The fisherman leaves, but later he asks the local sheriff to check the property deeds. And the sheriff confirms that the neighbor only owns 5 feet of shoreline, so anyone is entitled to fish there, without the threat of an unwanted shower. And the territorial neighbor is not off the hook. To her surprise, the next week, members of the local fishing community organize a fishing trip right in front of her house to prove that the Indian River is for everyone to use.
You.
Behind this door, a grandmother is being yelled at by her neighbors, who are tired of her dog running around on their shared staircase.
Your dog's out here barking at my sister.
Things are calm when suddenly,
Get out! Get out! Get out!
the grandmother gets shoved backwards and nearly falls off her feet.
Call the police.
How dare you attack my grandmother?
That's how you know you killed her because you keep letting the dog out there. Yeah. Don't you guys think it's time you grew up?
The neighbors are now blaming each other for every issue in their apartment complex, including a deceased pet.
We killed that cat.
Yes.
No, we didn't.
I have a full-time job. I have kids.
The neighbors are trying to change the subject because they realize that they are being recorded. And in Arizona, shoving could be considered assault.
You just attacked her. I can't.
The two sets of neighbors continue arguing until the police later show up to cool the heated situation.
Yourself.
And even though it hasn't boiled over to pushing and shoving again, these torrid-tempered neighbors have yet to resolve their red-hot rivalry.
You don't know anything. You don't know anything.
A staple of the fall months is seeing leaves drop from trees in neighborhoods all across the United States.
1, 2, 3, go.
But when the leaves start to pile up, someone has to be responsible for sweeping them away. And in a trailer park in Bay City, Michigan, a woman has taken it upon herself to get in the way of another woman trying to clean up the neighborhood with a leaf blower.
Can I do my job, please?
The woman with the leaf blower has a legitimate reason to be there. She's been hired by the property managers to clear the community's streets.
I'm trying to get the leaves out of the road.
The neighbor in purple came out when she saw the woman moving traffic cones in the street and thought she was doing something to mess with her car. And from out of nowhere, she attacks.
Get away from my car. The car's for my daughter.
Without warning, the enraged neighbor charges the woman behind the camera, striking her multiple times before knocking her to the ground.
Want to go, bitch?
What you're seeing now is a view from the phone, knocked into a pile of leaves. But just out of the camera's view, the irate neighbor is still attacking her victim and actually knocks her to the ground. The woman is eventually able to struggle free from her attacker and calls the police. When they arrive, authorities review the footage and document the victim's injuries. The woman who attacked is promptly served an eviction notice from the trailer park and is arrested by Bay City PD for assault and battery. As of this recording, her case is still ongoing.
Dude, what the? Your lawnmower is definitely broken.
Mowing the lawn can lead to some untidy disputes between neighbors. Just ask Deanna Fowles and her family. They claim that for the past 3 years, their next-door neighbor has turned life on their serene Idaho street into the front lines of an ugly neighborhood lawn war.
And then you stupid blind pieces of can see that I had it surveyed.
When I first met my neighbor, she seemed very nice. I wasn't close with her, but I was able to coexist with her.
While there are no weekend barbecues between the two households, things remain civil until the Fowles' neighbor decides to lend them her green thumb.
The issues between me and my neighbor started pretty innocently. She had come over and said, the way you cut your grass is a little lower than mine and it looks uneven, and would you be okay if I took over mowing that spot since I see it a lot by my house? Well, gosh, if it means so much to you, yeah, you can mow that area, no big deal.
But a big deal it becomes when Deanna's 12-year-old daughter mows the lawn one day.
I get my neighbor running over, screaming obscenities at the top of her lungs. How dare you? You told me I could mow this area. You're going back on your promise. Complete meltdown. And it's not like my daughter ruined the lawn. She just cut it a little shorter.
Deanna apologizes to her neighbor, but things don't improve. They get worse.
We would come home from work, she's literally landscaping, mowing our whole entire lawn like she's been hired to do so. That's when my husband decided, okay, I'm gonna go over nicely and ask her, can you just not come on our property? And that was not well received.
And then you stupid blind pieces of can see that I had it surveyed.
The neighbor exacerbates the situation further and starts arguing over their shared property line.
Stay the hell off my property.
That doesn't belong to you. That is city property.
No. That is our boundary.
Then, like in so many other neighborhood wars, things turn petty.
My neighbor's a very dramatic person. She didn't want our family to benefit from anything of hers, including water. She has sprinklers over there, and she didn't want our lawn to be any greener from her water. So she obviously had to spend some money to buy this material to make these large plexiglass dividers that she would put up and take down every day, and that would stop the water from basically splashing onto our property.
And if that isn't miserly enough, with the help of a visiting family member, the neighbor uses a similar technique when tossing grass seed on her lawn.
She's got a cardboard barrier holding that up like really close to my husband to prevent any grass seed from coming onto our lawn. Just another way to irritate us, essentially looking for a reaction.
To create privacy for their family, the Fowles plant trees down one side of their house.
You were on my property. Interesting.
But their neighbor calls the police, claiming the trees are planted on her side of the property.
We actually went about a foot into our property so she wouldn't be close to the trees. The cops basically told her, I don't know what your issue is, they're on her property. And you should appreciate the privacy if you have an issue with your neighbor. And her response was, that doesn't matter, I want them taken down.
The woman's pettiness soon turns peculiar as she starts coming out nightly to survey the Fowles' property. With no end to the harassment in sight, the Fowles get a 6-month restraining order against the woman.
In that restraining order, she couldn't be outside when we were outside. What she started doing was she would come stand on the sidewalk and just stare for hours at a time. Restraining orders are only good as the prosecutors who are willing to back them up. Numerous times police came out, saw the footage, yep, that's a violation, and the prosecutor says, I'm not going to do anything about it. So that's what's the most frustrating is you do what the cop says, you obey the law, and you kind of are just left being harassed.
Deanna, though, has no intention of taking the easy way out of this feud and moving her family to a new neighborhood. So for now, this war rages on.
My kids were born and raised in this house. All our memories are here. I envision staying here forever. It's hard. It's hard to leave something like that.
Unfortunately, living close to other people also means dealing with other people's problems.
We pull into our complex and a car comes almost crashing into us.
Literally trying to come in, and this lady decided to not let us in.
Opening onto a main road, this is an especially narrow gate, only letting one car out or in at a time.
I'm like, back up so we can pull to the side so you can get through. She wanted me to back up, but it's a really busy street when she can just back up in the complex.
She came almost crashing into my car, and then I'm waiting for her to back up so that I can come in.
She will not back up.
This lady is very confrontational. She's just pretty miserable. This kind of stuff actually happens all the time.
This isn't the first time Shayna's neighbor has played rolling roadblock at the expense of her neighbor's freedom.
She starts with everyone, and this is definitely her MO.
Holding up the cars that was trying to get in.
More than 10 minutes go by. By now, she's blocking not just Shayna from coming in, but all of her other neighbors from going out.
At this point, management comes. There's a line of people behind me.
She refuses to speak to the man.
Other neighbors try to reason with the woman, but just like their cars, they get nowhere.
I'm like, is something going on with her? She's just sitting there.
Determined to maintain her dominance over the driveway, the woman deliberately ignores all of her neighbors as she stubbornly refuses to move her car.
There are 4 spots over here that you can pull back into. There are 4 spots.
This one.
To come in.
They just need you to back up. There's a lot of people.
Because we knocked on her window.
Clearly, you don't have nowhere to go.
That's when she started crying.
She's crying. She's crying because you asked her to move.
I am appalled. Like, is this lady serious? This same lady starting all of this with those crocodile tears?
Finally, as the sun sets, the woman caves when someone threatens to call the police. She agrees to move her car, but the dramatics don't end there.
She's finally doing what she should have did hours ago.
Her hour-long standoff comes to an end. As a parting shot, the woman takes photos of Shayna's license plate, although no one seems to know why. At the end of the day, Shayna and all of her neighbors can now laugh at their shared parking lot drama.
This is my first time ever having an altercation with a neighbor, but I was gonna hold my ground.
Y'all can leave.
After I won the little ordeal, I started seeing some of the neighbors saying, right on.
Well, almost all of her neighbors.
I saw this lady 2 days ago, and she's walking like this, with her head down. I don't care. She doesn't run past my mind. She doesn't pay my bills. It just was something unfortunate that happened, but I had to make a point.
Girl, bye.
She lost.
Girl, you going viral, I promise you.
In Paso Robles, California, hanging out at the neighborhood skate park is a rite of passage for 15-year-olds like Justin Correa, even though it's not always the safest place to be.
Our nickname for it is called Scum Park, and scum is like another word for like a not so nice area, kind of more dangerous area. It's some crazy stuff happens down there sometimes.
Justin and his friends were filming each other doing tricks, but their day does a 180 when a much younger neighborhood kid shows up.
I'm guessing he's like 10, nah, younger than that. I say around like 8 to 10 range or something like that, but he just starts taunting us. He's picking up our boards, throwing them.
I think he's up.
Insulting us even.
You, I'm a skateboard master.
Not my board, dude. Oh, can you please leave? Please, just go away until this is over.
After Justin and his buddies tell the younger kid to beat it, he runs to his mom, who is waiting nearby, and says they swore at him. She appears in a fury.
How old are you? All the time I hear people saying bad words to him over here. Are you dumbass?
So the mom comes over to us, and she's definitely feisty or angry. She's going off on us. She's telling us to not say bad words and don't say bad words around her kid as she's saying bad words to us in that same exact sentence.
And if F-bombs aren't enough,
I should not be asking a mom these kind of questions.
she's about to start a generational war.
You know, I used to skate. I don't skate anymore. It's none of your damn business. Why? But we were actually more respectful to each other. We respected each other. You guys are punks nowadays.
Hey, I didn't do anything, ma'am.
Are you videoing me?
Mama, can I ask you something? He's gonna put that on YouTube and he's videoing me.
I don't care. Hey,
The mom may say she doesn't care, but once she realizes her foul-mouthed tirade is being recorded, she starts to chill out.
At 8 years old, when you guys were 8, don't you remember trying to
He was
fit
getting
in?
in our way. I almost ran into him.
Tell him to get the out of the way. Tell him just to leave. Or, you know, just do whatever you gotta do. You don't have to be mean to a kid to tell him to get out of the way.
I think the mom calms down because we didn't respond back with as much force as she did. So I think it was us two that made her calm down, but she might have also just gotten a lot of that emotion out.
Now mom's run out of steam, and the pair leave the park. Justin and his neighbors return to shredding, knowing that they were the ones acting like the grown-ups in the park today.
The advice that I have for the kid is be conscious of your actions, live life. One day I hope to see the kid up and shredding. He can come skate with us. I don't mind. We can all be friends.
Lined with leafy streets and soaring apartment buildings, Milwaukee Avenue in the Logan Square neighborhood of Chicago is a hub of activity. And when a biker makes the mistake of pedaling to his front door on the sidewalk, one of his neighbors decides it's her job to enforce the law.
I want you to obey the law. Obey the bicycle laws. Obey the bicycle laws.
Yeah.
Obey the bicycle laws.
Yeah.
Obey the bicycle laws. This guy was disobeying the bicycle laws. Yay! So maybe a car will hit him. Yay! Wait. Let's turn it around.
Don't touch my phone.
Don't touch your phone?
Don't touch me.
Don't touch your phone or what?
But before the biker can defend his phone, his neighbor throws her entire cup of water at him, soaking his shirt.
All right.
Yeah?
Satisfied, the sidewalk savior goes in for the victory lap around the neighborhood, but is quickly cut short by a witness.
You see that?
What's the problem? This man was disobeying the bicycle laws.
Who just so happens to be an off-duty neighborhood cop with the Chicago Police Department.
You threw water at him or whatever that is?
Yes, I threw water.
Do you realize that's a battery?
No, it isn't a battery.
You're telling the police what it is?
It isn't a battery. He was taking my picture.
Ma'am, be quiet. I've been a policeman for 24 years. Don't tell me anything.
But she's not done telling him how to do his job.
I have been hit twice by bike.
But you didn't get hit by him.
No, my point is he was riding on the sidewalk.
Okay, so?
And you don't give him a ticket, and he thinks it's
Excuse me.
okay.
But wait a minute, but you still have no right to throw something at somebody. The point is there's something wrong with you, ma'am.
She seems determined to make everyone on the block aware of her very important point.
No, the point was disobeying the law, and you don't do anything.
Side voice, but you have to scream.
The point is you don't do anything. I was hit twice. I've broken
But you weren't
ribs.
hit tonight.
I've broken
You weren't hit
twice.
tonight.
My point is...
The point is there's too much crime in Chicago for us to worry about people on bicycles
What?
on sidewalks.
I have been hit
Too much
twice.
people dying in the streets.
I've been hit twice, and you don't... Good, I'm glad you're getting this on tape, that this policeman said that.
Then I'm saying there's too much crime in Chicago for us to worry about little things. Yes, you're right.
The officer continues to try to reason with the woman as she gets further and further away from anyone's point.
I can go after a guy who is stealing somebody's purse, right? I can stop somebody
Why are we talking
from
about
doing
that when we're talking about a
Because
bicycle?
it's the same thing.
No, it's not.
Yes,
Stealing
it is.
and a bicycle on a
yes,
sidewalk?
Yes, it is. Yes,
Ma'am.
it is. I tried to stop him from disobeying the law.
But that's not your job.
Why?
Because you're not the police. I am.
Why is it different?
Your job is not to worry about people on bicycles. My job is.
After almost 10 minutes of discussion, the officer consults the biker for his take.
You want to arrest him?
When you threw the water on me, it made me want you arrested.
Well,
yeah,
fine.
it did.
But my point is I want you arrested for
Well,
endangering
that's not going to happen
people's
because it's not an
lives.
arrestable offense to begin with. It's just a ticket.
Eventually, the woman gets to a point.
The point is, I'm glad you're getting this on tape because now I can sue the city because the police
city for what?
do nothing about people like you.
Okay.
You seem to
So
think it's
duly
okay.
noted, ma'am. Anything else that you want? Anything.
I'm going to sue the city.
You're going to
You
sue the
guys-
city. Get in line.
The biker gives up and heads home without pressing charges and deeply regrets his decision not to take the train that day. While the woman isn't arrested, legend has it the officer is still stuck on the sidewalk, trying to help find her point in the neighborhood.
All I'm
sidewalk.
saying
You said
is
that at
there are a
his
lot of
tape.
people in
And
Chicago
that's
that if
what
you
I'm
throw
gonna
something
take to
at them, they're
court.
not going to be as nice as him.
My point is...
All right, they're going to give you a smack.
Salado, Texas is a tiny community about an hour north of Austin. And with multiple RV parks, it's a perfect place for Michael Delar Saprete to call home.
About 3 years ago, we had moved into the Salado RV Park. It was a really nice community. Had its, interesting characters.
But not all of those interesting characters necessarily make great neighbors, which Michael learns after finding the man next door trying to put out a debris fire that was started earlier by his landlord.
Came up to around, 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening. This neighbor came home, he saw this fire, and he decided at that point to start putting out the fire. I walked up there to approach him to try and help. Hey, I noticed you're trying to put out the fire. You don't really need to worry about it. I've been keeping an eye on it.
There's material on top. That's all getting wet. But you see the fire down underneath? That's still hot. And you can't really cool it down by soaking the top.
If you really want to put it out, if you have a metal rake, I can help you. We can rake that out, put it out in a couple of seconds. It won't be a big deal at all. And that's when he replied with profanities.
Hey,
oh, yeah?
coming over to your area, bother you. Go over to your area and bother yourself.
I was blown away that my first interaction with him was he's swearing at me.
Michael knows that this fire will burn itself out. He also knows that this community has a very small well, and using a garden hose on a dying fire wastes precious water.
You're gonna be spraying a long-ass time. This is pretty funny.
Still, his neighbor doesn't want to hear it.
I'm trying to help prevent the well pump from going down, meaning my family can't take showers. The neighbor who's on an oxygen tank can't take a shower. So I was trying to help him put out the fire, to be met with that kind of anger and, aggression. At that point, I just started laughing.
Why don't you come over here?
I'm doing exactly what I want to do. You're the one who's got a problem.
Michael continues to document the scene until suddenly the neighbor snaps.
Yourself.
Your property. There.
I want to have a conversation with you.
Michael's phone is knocked out of his hand, and his neighbor quickly snatches it up before retreating to his home.
The moment he pushed me, I could have hit him, I could have swung on him. It would have been totally justified. Nothing good would come of it.
Not wanting to escalate the situation any further, Michael calls the sheriff's office to retrieve his phone. Deputies are able to return his property, and a few days later, Michael's neighbor voluntarily moves out.
Maybe 4 days later, he had pretty much moved all of his stuff out of the community, and he was gone. I can honestly say it wasn't a sad day to see him leave. I was quite pleased.
And roughly a year later, Michael is grateful he hasn't had contact with his former neighbors since, or has any issues with his new ones.
I got new neighbors and new relationships have been built, thankfully. No crazy neighbors that want to fight with me and shove me. So it's been a pretty good change.